Hello everyone, hope you all are fine. Already we have completed the chapter 4, which is the third chapter of our syllabus, atomic structure, and previous day I took a test and I have also discussed the answer of the question. As I have said previous day that from today onwards we will be discussing as a whole half yearly portion. That means as individual revisions are done and tests were also taken. So now onwards our discussion will be based on all the 3 chapters that we have in our syllabus. Today I have prepared a question paper based on all 3 chapters, that is based on the half yearly portion. After this class you all download it from the worksheet section and then give the test seriously. Next day I will discuss the question answers as I do every time. And similarly next week onwards till the half yearly exam starts, we will be discussing I will be giving the test paper based on all 3 chapters, and we will be discussing the question answers on all the chapters as a whole. In this way it will help you for revisions. Actually the chapters that we have are chapter 1, that is matter and its composition, chapter 2 physical chemical changes, and chapter 4 atoms, molecules and radicals as it is written in your book. But actually the name of the chapter as per the council syllabus is atomic structure. By now you all have downloaded the reduced portion made by council. It is published in the CISCE.org website. And from there you can check that chapter 3, that is elements, compounds and mixture, is omitted. So in half yearly we have 3 chapters. Now what we need to read from these 3 chapters, as already you have done in the unit test, then also as from today we are starting the revision based on the full portion. I'll be discussing or I'll be recapitulating once again the chapters which we did long back. So first is matter and its composition. So from here what we did is the basic ideas or the definition of matter, example of matter, and then example of some which are not matter, like feelings, happiness, sadness. These are not matter, these are not matter. So and then matters are those which occupy some space, has certain mass. And then we are classifying the states of matter in solid, liquid and gases. As we all know, there are other states of matter as well, but then also mainly we focus on these 3 states of matter. Then we have read about the definitions and the example of each state of matter, difference between the 3 states of matter with examples, and the differences were based on different factors like based on volume, based on mass, based on diffusion, based on compressibility, based on shape and size, then based on interparticle force of attraction, interparticle distance, these all. Also one extra thing we have read, that is the basic unit of matters, that is matters are made up of either atoms or molecules or ions. Ions, we have read about ions, but when we started reading this chapter, that is matter, that time there were no idea about atom in us. But now as we have completed chapter 3, that is atomic structure, now you know what is ion. So now I can tell you that there are solids, liquids and gases where the basic units are ion. We have already seen that there are solid, liquids and gases where the basic units are atoms and molecules. As for example, metals like sodium, calcium, their basic unit is atom. Then there are atoms like basic units are atom. Then there are substances, liquids also like mercury where basic unit is atom, noble gases where basic unit is atom. Then there are solids with basic unit molecule, can be glucose, can be ice. Liquid with basic unit molecule is water. Then gaseous state, gas having basic unit molecule is oxygen, nitrogen. Similarly there are solid, liquids and gases whose basic units are ions. As for example, sodium chloride that we have in our kitchen, everybody of us have tested it and it is used in our cooking purposes. So sodium chloride is made up of Na plus ion and Cl minus ion. Their basic units are ion, neither atom nor molecules, but their basic units are ions, and it's a solid state. So their solid whose basic unit is ion can be sodium chloride. Then the gaseous, like these, there are gaseous, there are at solids, there are liquids, or basic units are ion. So these we have read, and then after that we read about the conversion of matter, that is interconversion of the states of matter. What is that? That under specific temperature or on changing temperature and pressure, the states of matter can be interchangeable for solid, liquids and gases. And for water, this range is very interesting. That means we can achieve this range, solid, liquid and gas. This range is very much achievable for the water. That means the three states of matter, ice, water and vapor, we can see in our eyes in our regular days. That is not possible for other substances so easily. So what is the reason behind this interconversion of matter? That also we have read, that when we are heating a piece of ice or we are heating any solid like wax, if you are heating, it's melting. That is of that particularly giving, they are absorbing the energy, and then the molecules or the atoms, whichever are the basic particle, they are going far away from each other. That is interparticle space decreases because their interparticle force of interparticle space increases because their interparticle force of attraction decreases, and they convert from solid to liquid. Similarly, if we talk about the reverse states like gas to liquid, then on cooling gaseous state or cooling a vapor, what happens? The energies are taken out from the gaseous state, and the particles, their energy becomes lesser. They are gaining now little bit of potential energy, kinetic energy decreases, and the space among them decreases, and the interparticle force of attraction that increases. So in this way we have seen the changing of the states of matter with the reason. Next we had physical chemical changes. That is a very easy chapter, and where we had the different kinds of changes. First we have changes around us like periodic change, temporary change, permanent change, non-periodic change, desirable change, undesirable change, and those changes, their examples. Then we have mainly elaborated discussion on physical chemical changes, differences between them, definitions, examples, and also the thing or the point where we always get confused to avoid the term reversibility, as I have said previously also, and changes where physical and chemical changes are occurring simultaneously. Those examples we had. Next, the final chapter that we have, atomic structure. Again, I am telling we do not have physical and chemical, we do not have this physical chemical, what was the name of the chapter? Separation techniques in our syllabus. And you all asked that day to me about crystallization. I was telling that I will be discussing actually crystallization. This part we had in this chapter 3. So next day, before discussing the question paper, I'll start crystallization, because it was totally out of my mind that I forgot actually. While I started recording this video, I was thinking that something I want to discuss, then I forgot. Just now it has come in my mind that when I was talking about chapter 3, that you all asked me to explain on crystallization. Surely on the next video I'll be doing that, crystallization. I'll tell some ideas, and then I will discuss the revision test question paper. So atomic structure chapter, we have, as you know, formulas, definitions of atoms and molecules and ions, ideas of cations and anions, then radicals, use of the term radical, compound radical, formation of the molecules from the ions. These all we have in the atomic structure chapter, that is about the ideas about the atoms, molecules and ions. So this was about the chapter. You all again in the live class tell me that on which topic I should discuss from the syllabus, because many of you were asking me about fractional distillation, then fractional crystallization. Actually those are not there in our syllabus, so I cannot discuss this in this discuss that in this form, because other students, they may get confused that whether it is there in the syllabus or not. That can be a misconceptions. That's why I am telling, if you have individual doubts on that particular chapter, little bit of explanation I can give in the live class, but not on the video class, because that may create confusion. Keep revising the chapters. just now after switching off this or after ending the video, quickly download the question paper from the worksheet section, go to worksheet section, there you will get the question paper. Give the test very seriously, and next day I'll discuss the question answers of that particular part, and also I'll discuss the crystallization part. So see you in the next class, and also we are talking in the live class as well. Till then, take care and bye.